Dear beautiful light warriors, welcome once again to this beautiful sessions of the Light Warrior Collective on a Sunday. For over 3 years now, we were just discussing that. I'm very proud to be part of this team to help host these sessions. My name is Wouter. I'm your tech host for today. If there's any difficulty, send me a direct message and I'll sort you out as soon as possible. And for further introduction of today's session and our speaker, I would love to hand it over to our beautiful Incan, somewhere close to a Formula One racetrack.
Hello, guys. Yeah, maybe I can hear some outside. I hope it's not annoying. I will mute myself when it's Bilgehan's turn. So hopefully no distractions from my side. I'm super happy to be here again with you. It's Sunday. It's your self-care moment. It's your time. And we are here since more than 3 years, every Sunday at the same time with the same link to connect, to inspire you, to raise your vibe, and really like to be together for a moment, to come into the present moment and to learn. We always love to share inspiration, how to grow, how to take care of yourself. And this is, we all know this, a never-ending journey. We should always train this muscle. It's so important when, even when there's no time. I am very happy to see your faces and I want to say that I honor that you take this time for yourself, that you become still in this moment and you listen to our beautiful guest speakers. We have an amazing variety. Check out our YouTube channel. The replays will be in absolute speed time. Wouter is processing the sessions and placing it available for you on the YouTube channel. Browse through them. There's so much wisdom. There's so much amazing things to learn. I really invite all of you to dive into this treasure chest that we have created over the last 3 years. So I am grateful to be here with Bilgehan, my German brother, half German, half Turkish. But there's this German part inside of him. Although it was funny, I said, we don't speak German with each other. We only speak English with each other. It's so funny, but that's the language where basically our energies are melting. This is the way it is. And yeah, I'm very grateful that I already met him in person because he's a beautiful soul. I feel it's really impressive what he is doing, how many different things he's doing. I'm always asking him, where are you at the moment? Because he's all over the place. He's also a very global person. And one thing that I like about people, and this happened to me with him, was online. Mind Valley Times, he was taking care of the German community. When I feel I tap into the heart space of a person, and this happened with me and him, I really felt he has such a beautiful, pure heart. The space where he's coming from is really amazing. And I had this connection that was on a very pure level. And I think everybody who's connecting with him is feeling this. Everybody that I spoke with that know you, Bilgehan, is telling me the same. You are really, really a wonderful person. And I'm super grateful that you take the time, because now you're busy on Mallorca and with your customer and like taking care of your client and jumping into this moment with us to share your wisdom. That's very, very kind of you. And I'm really happy to have you here. So I will hand it over to you so you can share a bit about yourself and introduce yourself to our participants. I told him, guys, we are the most beautiful space on earth. We are so hearts wide open, right? Please send him a lot of good vibes. Let him feel welcome in our space. And I hand it over to you, Bilgehan.
Oh, thank you so much, Inken. Oh my God, now I'm even more excited. Thank you so much for having me here. And I feel some excitement after all this amazing introduction, and it's been really, I don't know, many months since we were trying to, get the slot for me, and finally it's happening, and I'm super grateful for that. Grateful to feel your energies and your support and yeah, your presence. So everybody, welcome. My name is Bilgehan, and yeah, so when Inkan invited me to, share here in this Light Warrior Collective, then I was asking myself, okay, so what topic am I going to talk about? And this question came to my mind, which is, if I were able to telepathically communicate with the whole world, what would my message be? And immediately there was this one thing that came to me, which is kind of this my personal journey of seeking and the essence of that. And I gave the headline to that, understanding identity and non-polarity. So I will be talking a bit about that, what I understand from that. And then I will also introduce two simple tools that might be maybe interesting for you. Just before I dive into this, I wanted to share that I am right now in a rural area, and my internet connection might not be very stable. So if you experience some lagging, then it is what it is, and then I noticed that, and then I will just continue where we left off. So just saying that beforehand, so that like our presence is still together. And also, I would like to ask you for a disbelief principle that I call. It is a way of being, which is like whatever I share here, just don't believe it immediately. Just have your critical mind turned on. And in the same time, if possible, to put or park aside all the knowledge you have already, because only an empty hand can receive. So if you want to get an inspiration from this talk today, then when your hand is empty, then maybe something will come. I don't say something will come. I have no idea, because I believe like we are all very different. Different things resonate with us, and I cannot know actually what will really be a learning for you. But I believe everybody has their own journey, but we are kind of going towards a very similar goal, or maybe the same goal. So having said that, I would like to kind of, start talking about what I mean by, or why I chose this topic. It's because my childhood, I have been always into understanding, like, okay, what is life about? I'm sure all of you have already asked that question before. Okay, what's the purpose of life, or what's this human experience? Like where are we going? And I believe deep down we all are kind of seeking this oneness feeling, this connection, and unconditional love. And maybe also here in this group, this is what Inkem was also saying, that like it just flows, it's just there, and sometimes you don't even have to talk, because you understand each other. So this kind of connectedness, I believe deep down we all search for it, and in this world today we are not really able to find that maybe. So my journey started when I was a little boy, and my mother had a near-death experience when she was 18 years old. And so she told me already what the experience was, that she would fly through a tunnel of light, and would hear some music. In any case, so for me as a boy, it was interesting to hear that, because I knew already, okay, there is more to life than our physical experience. So this led me to researching more about religions, about philosophy, and reading a lot of books. And I'm lucky because my dad is Turkish and my mother is German. And I believe this type of duality in culture also helped me to see myself kind of like a bridge. Because I will be now talking about also polarity and non-polarity, and that in my life I experienced this kind of polarities that helped me to learn about them, and kind of sense maybe how I could get to that connectedness that I am deeply seeking. I have my cheat sheet also here, so I will be sometimes looking here. Yeah, so yeah, basically this, what I learned about identity and non-duality, it helped me to, you know, reduce stress in my life. It helped me a lot to connect with my dad, because I have been like judging him a lot, but then it helped me to see other side of things. And also now that I'm working in one of the most exclusive rehabs in the world, I'm working with people with addiction and mental health. So it really helps me to be in my mental balance. And I want to share my screen now. I think I started late with that, actually. Yeah, in any case, so I think you can see it. We tested that before. So yeah, this is apparently what is written in the Apollo temple in Delphi in Greece. I read about that. You know, when before you enter this temple, on the top of that, it was saying, "Know thyself, know yourself," and this is this journey of self-realization. So the thing is, I have been, you know, learning so many different things, like with energy healing, consciousness coaching. I had a spiritual teacher when I was a teenager, and she turned out to be mentally unstable later on, but she really helped me to read lots of good books that helped me in my journey. I lived in spiritual communities. I have been a participant and a trainer in retreats and in personal development courses. I worked at Mind Valley. I'm sure you all know what Mind Valley is. And in all these experiences, I was always surrounded with people who have had this kind of seeking, and we were into personal development. Yeah, what I kind of also observe is when it comes to personal development, people tend to go into more about, you know, how can I make money fast, or where can I find love? So money, success, and relationships are the most important topics. And I kind of started to feel this stuckness also in me, and also in people that were surrounding me, because I noticed that we are just chasing workshop after workshop, reading book after book, and just there's always something to chase. And so it is like all about kind of creating a new identity. You probably heard about this question: what is your greatest version? So this is a typical coaching question as well, and we usually like work on that, right? Okay, what is my greatest version? Okay, I want to make a lot of money. I want to have this kind of body. You know, my love life should be like that. So I feel like we are trying to control or identity or life through the means of the mental body. And when I say mental body, so this is a little drawing I did. This is something that I draw when I'm teaching Reiki. And what I just try to show here, you know, we have the physical body, we have an emotional body, mental body, and then spiritual body. And in Reiki, we say that healing happens when deep inside we realize that we are all connected and we are all one. And this is called a spiritual healing. So when we have spiritual healing, it kind of comes down to the mental body, and it affects our thoughts. So we start to be more relaxed, we can surrender better, and we can also see different sides of the same story. And when we have that also mentally, then it will also affect our emotions and also our physical body. So just also, I was like, you know, like just the last days, I was just thinking about, okay, what I'm going to say. And there's like so much to share, but I want to really make it short. But if there is any question, then I'm happy to also maybe elaborate more on what I'm talking about. So if that happens, then just unmute and then we can also talk. In any case, so here is the process of manifestation that I learned in my coaching, and it's, you know, the result or my life is, you know, created by the actions I take. And before the actions, I have the word. So I talk about what I'm going to do, and then I do it, and then that's my life. But before I talk about that, then I have my thoughts. Can be also thoughts, emotions, or energy. In any case, when we are designing our life, we are coming always from our, usually we are coming from our mental body. So so we are like, you know, like creating this new identity. We analyze our life and we say, okay, hey, I'm going to bed too late. I want to change that. So, but these actions are all in the mind. And the mind is amazing. The mind is very important. It helps us to have clarity. It helps us to find orientation in a 3D world. And the different part of it is always in duality. So there will be always the other side of the same story for the mind. So we live actually in a world of paradoxes and polarities. So there will be always a right or wrong. And for the mind, it's important to create that clarity, to have that clarity. So we're also talking about, you know, having values, you know, just making sense. And this mental structure can, at some point, at least for me, it became something where I noticed that the stories are just repeating themselves. So things that trigger me, they come again and again. I don't know if you experience that as well. It doesn't matter where I'm at. You know, Incan said I move a lot. I do so many different things. And it doesn't matter which part of the world I am. The same stories, the same challenges would appear for me because my mind would perceive them as challenges. And I believe that this will continue until I learn to embrace also the other side of the same story, the other side of the polarity, because that's where we have the true connectedness, where we feel there's unconditional love and there is oneness. But the mind doesn't understand that. The mind cannot understand that. So for us to be able to feel that or be that, we can use the mind, and I will show you 2 different ways of doing that. But it's all about also this surrendering. And I love this quote from Rumi. He says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and wrongdoing, there's a field, I will meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So it is, I think, like all of us will be or is facing this challenge with the mental construct. I'm not thinking also about like relationships. So in relationships, when we get to know someone new, then it can be very exciting, and we just maybe go with the flow. But the mind does what it does. The mind starts to already analyze and already put things in certain boxes. Okay, so my partner likes this, doesn't like that. My partner is usually, you know, lazy, and I can, you know, motivate him with food, for example. But in our true essence, we are not the mind, and our identity changes, our identity evolves. So if we get attached to the mental construct that we see, the analysis or the interpretation that we have about each other, then we will actually always feel that there is something missing. That yeah, so it's not the whole, it's not the oneness. That's why I say sometimes, the people with principles or opinionated people, they are the most dangerous for me, because they think like, okay, this is the right thing, and basta. We can't like even talk about that or go beyond that. So basically, this identity, which is the mental construct with all the beliefs that are also coming from society, etc., the attachment to that is blocking us to experience this oneness. Oh, what's happening in my background? There was like some. I don't know who did that, but okay. I see it as a good sign there. What I'm also finding really interesting is in our world right now, we are like, first of all, our attention span is so short, because like when you scroll through Instagram Reels, for example, or we watch a YouTube video, and it's just after 3 minutes, maybe we want to already see something else. We want to jump a lot. And as a society, we are moving towards this fight, flight, freeze feelings of the mind, because everything is happening fast. We want everything happen fast, and there is an overload of information for us. And since I'm working at a rehab center here, I see that clearly, that technology is not sometimes in our favor with its speed. And I see also news where politicians or famous people can now be demonstrated as like in this technology of deep fake, where you use their voice, you use their appearance. And so we are entering an era in the world where there will be no more right or wrong. We will not know that. So in general, this is going to help us, hopefully, to either go crazy, or we will be able to take that leap and we will move beyond the polarity to non-duality. And basically that means, for Reiki here, it means being connected with our soul, having a spiritual healing. This is how I would describe that. Okay, so we are already, I think like we have like 15 more minutes or something like that, or 20 minutes. In any case, okay, wonderful.
Even more, Bilgehan.
Oh.
And there's a few questions in the chat if you have a look at that.
Okay, let me do that then first. Okay. Is it about having no expectations, no labeling? Huh? I mean, expectations also in the mind. So we will have expectations, but the non-attachment to expectations would be maybe the right way of saying that, because our mind is there, and it's this tool that helps us to navigate in life, and it will automatically judge. I don't like being judged. Nobody likes to be judged, but we say, oh no, I don't judge, but we do that. Our mind does that because it is designed to do that. Important is to become aware of the judgment and of the expectations or of the labeling, and kind of being able to also let it go. We can strive for what we want. We can have those expectations for sure, and we can communicate that. But when it doesn't happen in the way that our need is expressed, letting it go is more helpful. Yeah, so this polarity I'm not talking about. It is like I told you, right? Like I may be here and I might be somewhere else, and then the same topics come over and over again. So the same triggers, the same topics, and I would say that this is how, thumbs up. Okay, this is like life is there to teach us that, okay, hey, you are not your mind, you are much more than that, and what that is, it's up for you to discover and to sense and to be. But with the mind, you will not understand that. But what we can do is to switch our perspectives. And when we believe in something, we if this is right, this is wrong, switch and see, okay, how would it be on the other side? And if we don't do that, life will just smack us sometimes and say, like, hey, you need to do some shadow work, you know? So you need to kind of look inside, and what are you judging? What do you say that it's not you? So when you point one finger, and then three fingers are actually shown to you. So what is it in me that is not okay with what I'm experiencing right now? Yeah, so I think this is how I wanted to answer this question. Yeah, it's all about being fully neutral, and it's also not just neutrality. So I want to also experience that with you soon. So we are talking about duality, but how to get to the other side of the non-duality. So this is a very simple exercise, and it is, you know, you can write down, you can think about your life, and then you can say, okay, I make a certain person or a certain situation wrong. And once you have a list of that, then you just say, okay, even though it doesn't feel right for me, it doesn't, and maybe that person or that situation is really wrong, yes. But to shift that, to say, like, okay, I invite this context of that it is possible that this person is right. To think like that will shift the thinking in the mind and would allow new doors to open. Oh, I get a thumbs down. Okay. Maybe we talk about that. Yeah. Is there a question about that actually? No, because I got it in thumbs down, so I was, or was it the other side of the thumbs up? Well, in any case, so this exercise is for you to look at. Just today, I was having this experience, which, you know, we think, for example, that, you know, the sea is blue, and, you know, you look at the navigation, and the sea is blue, and where we are at is gray, like on the navigation, and just like being Alice in the Wonderland, like, just if you were to switch that, what kind of world would that be in? If the sea was gray and the ground was blue. It's just doing that. Or we meet a person, and I know this is like gender topic is big right now, but you believe you see a woman, and then you try to see that this person as a man. Like, how would that actually affect your experience? In any case, the most important tool that I would like to share with you is the focusing of the sense of beingness, the sense of I amness. And this is what I'm trying to say by that is, when you are looking at your thought processes, when you're in a meditation, or when you are also just in waking life, there are two ways of connecting with your beingness and stepping out from the mental space. And first of them is the negation. So I meditate and I say, okay, I either say I am, and I focus on the amness. The I is small, amness. So who is it that is feeling? Who is it that's observing what I'm thinking right now? And whatever answer comes to my mind, I would negate that. I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm not this, I'm not that. And what is remaining then is space or nothingness. Because we can't point to us. We cannot point to the essence who we are. If I'm able to say, okay, this is me, then there is already separation. So with that negation, the mind is confused and say, okay, it's trying to find an answer. And we will not give that answer to the mind. And whenever the answer is there, we say, no, 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 that's not me. No, this is not me. And I would invite you to experience that, to experiment with that as well. So in a moment, we can do a short meditation where I will be guiding you, and then you can have that experience, and then we can share. Just before that, I wanted to also show you the stairs of observation. So when I'm looking into the thought processes I'm having in my mind, and I, with this practice of mindfulness, like separate myself from that, look from above and say, okay, what is this? Who's observing the thoughts? Then the natural question would be also, who's observing the observer of those thoughts? And this can just go like a step, it can go almost forever, like two mirrors looking at each other. But this is still how the mind works. The mind will still chase that observation. And I have this stairs of observation versus the question mark. And the question mark is that beingness. So it is a leap that happens from trying to observe the being that I am, and being that I am who I am. And with this practice, we can go deeper into the feeling of the individual I am. So I say that individual I am because this is what I'm doing now with me. And I start to feel that this sense of beingness, the sense of I amness, is permeating everything. It is behind everything and in everyone. And that's where we feel, or we would feel, that complete wholeness and oneness. So for me, this book was really helping me to understand that, or to go into that. And if I could, communicate to the whole world, I will be talking about this, to take some time to, with meditation, to feel into this, okay, who am I? And have these answers, and then just negate them and see what happens. And what I feel for me is that there is absolute stillness, peacefulness, love, wisdom, and that everything just makes sense. And when I enter my daily life from that space, then it can be weird for others, because they don't know, like, okay, like, who are you really? And I also don't know, but I am who I am. And helps me to be in the moment, helps me to connect with anyone, and helps me also to move from that duality where the world is in, to more of peacefulness and connection and oneness. Okay, so this was a lot of theory now. Thanks for listening. Are there any questions before we maybe do some practice of that? All right. Good. Well, then, with your permission, and I would like to maybe just do a meditation with you. And then after that, so we're gonna just have a short round of sharing, and then we're done. Okay, so if we are then ready, then I would invite you to have your comfortable position for a meditation. And I invite you to close your eyes. And just know that there is absolutely nothing to do other than to meditate right now together. So we can let go. Maybe you can just notice your natural breath. Just notice how the air is coming through your nose and how the air is leaving your body, either through the nose or through the mouth. And the breath is always happening in the now. Now I invite you to have your awareness, your attention to your mind, to your thought processes, and ask the question, who am I? Or you can also say, just I am, and feeling into the amness, what that resonates. Who am I? And when an answer comes, you just put it aside and continue just looking and waiting. When you catch yourself observing, you can also ask who's observing the observer. And again, putting all that aside. No definition, no identity, no time, no space. Who am I? So again, notice your breath, feeling the air. And slowly, maybe moving your hands, feet, coming back to this physical reality. And opening your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back, everyone. Now, this is just a very short meditation. The good thing is you can always do that. You can always start with that. So there is no time limit because that's a timeless space. And whatever is happening in your life, it's whatever is going on in the mind, you can just always get to that space, or at least inquire that and see what comes up. And process of putting aside everything, whatever comes to your mind, everything, if it is gender, if it is age, if it is nationality, if it is, self-imposed description, Incan said, I am a person with an open heart, so Bilgehan is this, Bilgehan is that, like everything, whatever is left when we don't have the descriptions. So I'm curious now. This is the first time, I think, that I shared this with more than one person in the same time. And I wonder what came across.